What is it that David has acquired? What is it about King David that makes us all so interested? Here was a man that truly loved God. I mean, beyond anything, he loved God. He had a passion for God. In fact, the Bible goes on to tell us that King David was a man after God's own heart. In other words, he was a man that feared God and he eschewed evil. Now, we do know that there were times that King David did not always run from evil. There were times that he yielded to sin. We know that. We are aware of that. But in all of David's doing, the one thing that he always did was he always turned back toward God. He always turned his heart back toward God. This is very important. It's very important that we are in a state where we can be as children. We can always be repentive when we do wrong. And we can always ask people that we have offended to forgive us if we have offended them. This is something that we should be in the habit of. We should be in the practice of, as David did. King David here in this psalm, he is actually expressing his need for help from God. Because through his journey in life, he acquired many enemies. Many enemies David had. And so he needed help from God. Now, this was a king. David was just not some normal man. He was a king, which means he had power, which means he had troops, which means he had authority to take action upon his enemies. But because the man loved God and his heart's desire was to please God, he did not always confront his enemies as one would when they go to war. But many a times he trusted in the Lord. He leaned hard upon the Lord God. And he cried out to God for help. Because there are adversaries that we have in this life that make themselves our adversaries, that are not our adversaries by our own doing, or not our adversaries because we have created this thing by our actions. Sometimes people simply hate you because of who you are, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are and who you represent. So King David cried out to God.